Brian Deneke was run over and killed by 16-year-old Dustin. Brian Deneke dressed like a punk rocker. He wore a spiked dog collar and had a mohawk haircut. Dustin was the captain of the high school football team. The killing occurred during a fight between the punks and a group called the Preps, which included the children of some of Amarillo's wealthiest citizens.
Last summer, after a week-long trial, Dustin was convicted of manslaughter. But instead of going to prison, he was put on probation and allowed to go free. Free.
Thora with Pretty Vacant Podcast. And who is this beautiful lady in front of me?
My name is Izzy Smut, and I feel good about myself now. I feel confident.
And what podcast are you from?
I am from Never Mind the Podcast. Here's Izzy Smut, and that's me.
Yay! So, as you all know, and we have been promoting, we are doing the Brian Deneke episode right now. And I had to turn down my volume because I was getting feedback. So what made us decide to do this, Izzy?
Well, it's definitely an important story. It's definitely something that made an impact in my life. And it's something that should be discussed and should always be, and something that we need to keep in our minds, because it's something that was so terrible. It's like the way that everything was, was done, and how there was no justice. And it's just something that, this can very well happen today. I mean, there's still stuff like this that happens all the time. And, with discrimination or hating upon all this sexual orientation, race, and all this stuff. And we need to stop it. And I want to keep his legacy alive. That's the main thing, is to keep it alive.
100%. 100%. So we went through a lot of work doing this. We did podcasts who got people's names wrong. We did stupid. I mean, there was some bad stuff out there, and it was cringeworthy to listen to. But there were some really good podcasts too. And then we watched, of course, Bomb City. And then I was talking to Mike Blank, and he was like, "Did you ask the brother?" And I was like, "No, because why would I do that?" But I did, because if Mike asks you to do something, you do it.
100%.
And to our surprise, Jason Deneke agreed to the interview. So we have that coming up. We have Rob Chaos, who did Murdered with Total Chaos. We have that coming up, and a great interview with him. It's long, stick through it. It's awesome stuff. You really get a lot of insight on things. And the history of the abuse of punks and things like that. We have music. We have some Dropkick Murphys coming up, because I did reach out to them, but they have people, and their people didn't respond to me.
They ghosted you. Why would they do that? They should
know you people love me, Dropkick Murphys. I'm talking to you, Ken Casey.
Hey, reach out to us. We'll still do an interview after the fact, so if you can still reach out to us.
I'll try to make time for you now. I don't know. I may have to wash my hair that night.
You have to talk to my assistant, Willa. She's very
so I think this is we hope that you enjoy this as much as we enjoy this. You know the story as well as we do. I don't want to mention, we agreed on this, we don't want to mention his name, the murderer. He doesn't deserve it, but he is in fact a murderer. We know the story. It was time and time again. It's practically our history of being ridiculed, made fun of, and everything for being punk rock, and then fight, in the IHOP parking lot. And Brian Deneke was run down and murdered, and the culprit got probation and a fine. It's all because of who your daddy is, and it's disgusting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he only got a slap on the wrist. He probably didn't even have to pay the fine. He was just like, it's just such injustice that was done. And he's still, getting to live his life. And it's just disgusting,
Exactly.
Trash.
I wish that everyone listening could see your face, because your face says it all.
Pure disgust for that trash murder.
That's right. And you never know, he was the football king and he was going to be the productive member of society, so you never know who those productive members may be, because I know many punk rock people that are productive members of society right now. And
Us.
yeah, 9-to-5 jobs, corporate.
Yeah.
That's us. We're sellouts, but you know what? We still believe everything we have to believe. But sometimes I guess you catch more bees with honey, right?
Exactly. And I got to feed my cat, and she can't get a job.
That's right.
I can't send her to a stripper pole to get treats. Like I have to.
Your cat's a freeloader.
She's freeloading. I do everything for her. She's just like, yeah, thanks, whatever. Give me more.
Exactly.
I work for my cat.
So we hope that you enjoy this episode, and we are excited to bring it to you. This is our introduction, and let's get to some music.
Let's get to the music. So, the first one.
When
right, Izzy, we had a special guest. We had Jason Deneke join us. So that was crazy.
Absolutely. I didn't even think we were going to be able to interview him. And when he came on and started talking, I was just like emotional because I was just like, oh my gosh, you know?
Right, right. Because you don't want to relive something like that. It was traumatic. And I totally expected him to say no. Like, I emailed him and was like, no, but just in case, maybe. And he did. And we are grateful for that. And he mentioned something, we mentioned something in passing. We were talking about getting Brian's jacket into the Punk Museum, and that is picking up some chitter chatter.
I know. I'm super excited because the Punk Rock Museum actually hit me up after my video, and I was like, you know, that I did the shock, and then I was like, oh my gosh, and then they said that he has to enter the submission, and I have a feeling it's going to be on there, which is awesome.
Yeah, it definitely sounded positive. So it's well deserved, and it's an important, you said it, it's an important piece of punk rock history. So let's cross our fingers and toes for that.
It's going to happen. I have a feeling.
I believe it. I believe it. No pressure, Fat Mike, but I believe it.
We'll be there. We'll fly over and we'll find a spot. We'll be like, hell yeah.
Yeah, you'll see me and Izzy out there with our signs and our cats. All right, so here is our interview with Jason Deneke, who actually we were running with a hashtag of hashtag Stay Pissed, and he showed us the meaning of, I don't know if forgiveness or acceptance is the right word, but compassion for sure. As you'll hear in this interview, how he reached out to the offender. But I hope you enjoy this video. Or this interview. I hope it gives you some context and maybe some peace. Maybe hopefully it gave Jason and his family some peace.
Yeah, definitely. So let's play it. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, here you go. Here's our interview with Jason Deneke.
I just hit start recording.
Oh,
do you see
I record
anything?
too, or
Let everyone know they're being recorded. You are being recorded.
thanks?
Got you.
Do that.
Yeah, so it's recording.
Oh, that's good. At least it's recording. So, yeah, I was figuring. So he is gonna come in. Should we start before him or have him come on after?
Okay.
So we are going to hit record real quick. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Oh, well, good, because Izzy's already been recording the call. Hey, girl.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for doing this with us. And I know you went through the whole technical difficulties and all that stuff. So thank you for doing this.
No problem.
So I just have a couple of questions, if that's okay.
That's fine.
So, you know, with the story, the reason why I wanted to do this is because this story, oh man, it pissed me off so bad. I can't even imagine how you feel, but like, it really did a major impact, and it's something that could still very much can happen today. And you know, there's so much injustice that was done, and I feel like this should be in the history book as America fucking up, and like America not doing its job correctly. So like, I want this to be in the forefront because I feel like this is still an important story that needs to be told. So I just wanted to say thank you. And upon hearing this story, did you expect Brian's story to blow up the way it did?
Not really, not really quite as big as it did for sure. I knew there'd be a little bit of stuff here and there, maybe, but not quite like it has especially for this long.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, we're still even talking about it. I mean, but it made an impact. But do you think that Amarillo, Texas changed after this event over the years? Do you notice anything changing after?
I know that it has somewhat. I know like the different cliques in high school seem to get along a lot better than they used to, and I've heard of football players hanging out with skateboarders and
Nice.
football players skateboarding and everything like that. So I think it's changed somewhat.
That's awesome. I mean, did you notice that the punk scene dwindled after this event took place?
Oh, it definitely did for sure for a while. Here and there were some younger kids that tried to keep it going, and it just kind of didn't ever work out very well.
Is there a scene now in Amarillo?
Not really. It's mostly metal with a little bit of punk rock thrown in here and there, so it's just not like it used to be for sure. So,
Hmm. I mean, do you have a best memory with Brian?
I don't know about a best one. I don't know. We used to always try to have a lot of fun and try to do throwing shows and trying to make something to do for everybody. So
Awesome.
That's so cool. I mean, and what's something that most people don't know about Brian?
I don't know at this point. I think it seems like everybody knows about everything about him, really. But he loved animals and just
Oh,
people, and tried to help people out when he could. So
what about you? What's been going on with you? I mean, what's changed for you? What's going on with you? That's what I want to know.
for a while I was very angry, and it just kind of screwed up a lot of stuff in my life, and so I had to learn to kind of let go and forgive a little bit to kind of make myself better. And so there's that, and that's helped quite a bit. Other than that, still love the punk scene, still try to be a part of it as much as I can in this town, but that's really about it. Just trying to live life and keep going. So
When you say forgive, have you actually forgiven? Like, I don't know that I would be able to. That's very strong. Have you forgiven? Have you spoken to, I'm not even going to say his name on this podcast because it does
Nope.
not deserve any recognition, but have you spoken to the murderer at all?
I have not. Through a mutual friend of ours, though, I had heard, I wanted to invite him to like sit down, have a beer or whatever, and just kind of talk to him because we were kids back
Right.
then, and he refused, so that's fine. Just let it go with that.
Well,
So
you are clearly the bigger person, and that is amazing because I don't know that I would be able to do that. Or I would
yeah,
do that and it would be like a setup, honestly. A
right.
setup.
I kind of had to though, just kind of for my mental health. So
Understandable. Understand.
That makes sense because that takes a strong person to do that. Oh man.
yeah, I hear that. Actually, hear that from a lot of people. So
That's
they
that's
can't
good.
believe.
That's good. Are you still friends with the old crew?
Yeah, pretty much most of them. So some have
Awesome.
disappeared and whatever, but for the most part, yeah.
Good, good, good. Good. And do you still have his jacket? Do you still have Brian's jacket? I saw in another interview you had his jacket and you were holding it up.
Yeah, I do. So
Good, good.
Belongs in a museum.
right.
That punk rock museum over in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Hello.
that's an idea,
Hey,
actually.
Fat Mike, we're talking to you.
Where are you at?
That is actually an idea. If they would approach me about that, that would be a good, safe place for it to be for sure. So
A safe place. That is the operative words. Safe place, which is
safe
what we
place.
all need.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. Izzy, you have more?
Well, I just wanted to say, it just when you did the movie too. Well, when the movie came out, and what was something that you were like, that you were not that didn't align with what happened with Brian? That was something that you were just like, that didn't really go well.
Um, there wasn't really a whole lot because for them to make the movie, they kind of had to put a little bit of this and that spin on some of it. So it wasn't really. I mean, most of it was, well, not exactly. It was still aligned pretty close to the way things were. So it wasn't really that big of a deal for much of it. So
Great.
And how are your parents doing? Sorry to cut you off. So how are you?
No, that was my question.
Oh,
Oh, they're doing good. Getting old and all that, but they're doing pretty good.
Good.
yeah,
So,
oh, sorry.
I saw, oh, sorry. I saw on that, like, we had been talking back and forth, and I honestly never thought that you would agree to this. So thank you so much. But one thing that I noticed was we had set a date to talk, and then you said you couldn't do that date because you were going away for your anniversary. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, like he made it out. Like I don't know about everybody, but like I lived in a squad house or whatever you would call it with a bunch of punks, and my match was from Salvation Army. Like we made it out. Now I'm in the suburbs in the freaking white SUV and everything. Like we made it out and we're still part of the scene and everything. So like you made it out. You were going to Venice to celebrate your anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And I was just, I don't know if I could make it out. And I wanted to commend you and say publicly that bless you for making out, because when I had just had my son back and I had him in 99, and I was at home with him, and I remember turning on the TV and I saw you and your family on a talk show. And my first thing was like, wait, those are my people. And then I saw like the pictures coming up on the screen. I was like, wait, these are really my people. And my ex was a crust punk, and he had things thrown at him at this little town in Carbondale, Pennsylvania. And but he was like kind of a jerk, so he could have had things thrown at him for other reasons. But we stood out. I had a Chelsea. He was just dirty. And so we had this thing. And when I saw him, like my people, I felt at that moment touched by the story and like, no, we don't do that. We're not like that. Why are you hurting us? Why are you hurting us? So to see that so many years later that you're able to go on and just celebrate your anniversary, it seems so simple but so amazing, and giving all of what you've gone through, I think that's just awesome, and I wanted to say that. That's all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know it's been hard for a lot of people. There's some people that are still pretty stuck because of that, because of what happened, and I don't know. I'm just glad I was able to do the same thing, get out, out of that whole mentality and make life better. I think that's what Brian would have wanted for me anyway. So
Right. Get out of the anger and feel more of the love. The okay, so this happened, but okay, let's see how we can make it better for next time type thing.
right.
I find you to be a massive inspiration. Like just hearing you talk, like
Mm-hmm.
just saying that you got through it. You're still getting through it, but also the fact that you were willing to sit down and talk to him and how you know what I mean. Like I'm just like blown away. Your eyes were open in a great way because you're you know what I mean. You're inspirational, definitely.
100%.
Thank you.
100%. And I know we were talking about music and stuff, so you still have your record, you still love the music and everything like that. Are you going to book anything? You want to book anything?
Um, I always
Get back
think
in the
about
game?
I always think about it. Is just having time to do it. I know we're gonna try to do. They're trying to get a skate park here named after Brian.
Yes.
So the original person that was doing it kind of did a really horrible job trying to put it together, and just so I told them to take my brother's name off of it, of
Oh,
their event, and that we would do something of our own in the future. So
well, let us
go
know,
ahead.
because I know the Blanks were very interested in that skate park and we're sharing it and everything. So let us know what we can do if you when you start working on something, because this is not just a story we heard. This could be any of us and any of our friends and family, and it affected us deeply. Not as much as you, of course, or your core group, but we are all supposed to be a scene and a family, and we cling together because of whatever reasons we have each other. So whatever you are working on, please know that like we are here for you and we will do what we can to spread the word.
Okay.
100%.
I'll
Definitely.
do that. So.
All right.
Yeah, well, thanks again. Like unless you have anything else you need to add.
I can't think of anything, but
Like we didn't want to go into the story. We know the story. We didn't want to hurt anybody or bring up any memories. We just wanted to make this compassionate and hear from you and hear how it can go on and it can get better, and we don't have to lose our memories or our loved ones, and we could just live for the moment in their memory without having to dwell on anger. And your story has really really set that in stone.
I appreciate that.
Well, also, I mean, not only that too, like I was nervous to do this, and I wanted to, to talk to you and to know you, because like, you hear the story, but you don't really know, obviously we didn't know,
Right.
but we felt like we did. And then talking to you, we kind of got like an idea, and it's just really cool, like so I definitely want to support whatever you do. So like, just let us know.
I would definitely let y'all know for sure. So probably trying to get some bigger punk bands, to play like Blanks if they're available when we do it.
I know people.
So try to get CJ, since I'm friends with him now, and some stuff like that, just to make it,
Be great to have a nice big show in
Yeah.
his honor, and it would be great to work on something like that, because it's deserved.
Right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when we get ready to start planning it and throwing it together, then I'll definitely let y'all know. So
Yes.
Awesome. So again, thank you so much. I know you're hesitant, and we just really appreciate this, and that's all. I don't know. Thank you. Like,
No
from the bottom
problem.
of our hearts, we appreciate this.
No problem.
Have a great day.
All right, y'all too.
Thanks.
All right.
Goodbye.
In a sleepy town. If you're different, you're a freak and they don't want you around. Got daddy's car on a Friday night, just a speed bump in a privileged life. There ain't no justice if you're not like them. You stand out in a crowd like a target with your día en esta sociedad. Es un escándalo nomás por ser un punk. Mi mente abierta, queremos libertad. La muerte de cada uno nunca se va a olvidar. Brian. Cada día en esta sociedad es un escándalo nomás por ser un punk. Mi mente abierta, queremos libertad. La muerte de esta copa nunca se va a olvidar. Y estamos hartos, su muerte fue casual. Es el sistema, nos quiere parar. Y acabamos hartos, un día van a pagar lo que pasó en esta vieja sociedad. Han matado a un amigo de la sala. Vacant Deneke es una guerra militar. Y a la despierta, un día van a pagar. Esa tragedia nunca se va a olvidar. Es el sistema, nos quiere parar. Acabamos hartos, un día van a pagar lo que pasó en esta puta sociedad. Han matado a un amigo en la cena. Brian, una vez, una vez van a ganar. Y a la mierda, un día van a pagar. Y esta tragedia nunca se va a olvidar.
So we are, I believe, recording with Izzy from Nevermind the Broadcast. I'm Thora from the Pretty Vacant podcast, and we are doing our joint venture of Nevermind the Pretty Vacant podcast, our special episode on Brian Deneke. You heard
Yeah.
some music, you heard some interviews. We are going to introduce our next interview now. It is with Rob Chaos of Total Chaos, and everyone knows Total Chaos.
Hell yeah, they do. And we also have one of their songs on the show as well. And it was a good interview. Like it wasn't, you know, it was long, but I learned so much about things that I had no idea about. I'm sitting here like, oh my, my
I know.
mind.
I could literally listen to him for hours. He would, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he would be an excellent cult leader because I was in it to win it. I was enthralled. I was listening.
I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was like, let's
Tell
go.
me more. Great mom. Tell me more. But his interview is long, but it's worth it, and it's got so much insight into punk rock throughout the years, and fighting with Nazis and Epstein and the Clintons. It really has an array of everything from Brian Deneke to McDonald's. It really goes the gamut.
But it makes sense. And
It
it goes with
does.
ties. And it's very smart. I mean, he's a smart dude. Very.
I said it. He's like the smartest dude that I know. And I was so
Definitely.
grateful for him for doing this interview. We had to wake up super early on our end. He was okay, but he's in Germany with his family. So it was interesting. I've been up for a very long time. I mean, it's 8:51. I'm already drunk. Just kidding. My co-host face is like, stop it. Just kidding. It's 8:51 in the morning.
Yeah. And we're still going through it. We're still getting things done, you know?
Yes, we are. We had some technical difficulties along the way, but this is our labor of love. So we're doing it.
Yeah. So let's listen to that interview because we have a lot to learn and you do too.
Exactly. So without further ado, here is Rob Chaos.
kill the day. Listen up, can you feel? Just up, you know to go. Murder! What a fucking shame! Murder! System is to blame! Murder! This is fucking life! Blame murder is for real! Nothing comes you to go! No one has the biggest loss! But they're taking anything does! Murder! What a fucking shame! Murder! System is to blame! Murder! This is fucking life! Murder! The system is to blame! Murder! This is fucking life! Murder! What a fucking shame! Murder! This is fucking life! Bloody murder is around! Nothing up, you know to go! No one has the biggest loss! But you're taking it in guns! Murder! What a fucking shame! Murder! System is to blame! Murder! This is fucking life! Fucking murderer! Fuck you!
Said hello. So let's talk about Murdered.
Okay.
When did that idea come to you? Do you remember hearing about the story when it originally happened?
I wrote the song right after I heard that Brian Deneke got killed. I wrote it exactly right after. And then we ended up recording it as a demo in '99, and then we put it on the record in 2000. But it was already written in right after '97, '98. It was written. Wrote it.
Wow.
Me and Sean did. And yeah, because we met Brian Deneke. I think it was in '96 or '97. He came to one of our shows in Dallas, Texas, and he told us that he wants to see if we would play in Amarillo. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe, and he gave us a number or something. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I think he gave us a number, but I never called him, and then, but he wanted us to play. He said he does shows there. He's booked bands there. He told me a bunch of bands he booked there. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. We've never played there. So I wanted to do it, but I don't know, like less than a year after he told us that, he was on the news that he got killed, So it was like a year later, or maybe it was less than a year. It was something like that. And actually, it's funny is I talked to the promoter who booked our show in Dallas just for the first time. I haven't talked to him since '97 or something, and I just talked to him just recently, like a week ago or something. He's offering that he rents out vans and he does tour merchandise and all this crap. And it's like, he's all, I was your old booker. I booked your whole Texas tour in '97. And I think that was a tour that we met Brian Deneke on. So, I think so. It could be the tour before. I don't know. Because we tour so much, it becomes a blur.
You're right.
From specifically because he really wanted us to play Amarillo. You know what I mean? And he was with a bunch of his friends with him, and I said, "Yeah, we'll do it." Maybe the next tour can book something, and it never happened. But and then he got killed. So I immediately wrote the song. I mean, we weren't like best friends or anything, but I mean, I knew for a second. You know what I mean? I met him one time, and I hung out with him, and then I talked to his brother a little bit after he got killed, which I guess you just talked to him recently too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we were.
And then we were on the movie, they put our song in the movie about him, and then I guess CJ Ramon and Sean from Total Chaos and our drummer all got together and they played some songs in Texas somewhere for a film. When the film came out, there was like they had a live band playing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I wasn't here. I was in Europe. So CJ Ramon was playing Riot City, singing Riot City.
That's
he never,
awesome.
he never heard Total Chaos before, but
Oh,
he
you
got
don't
together.
know that.
Well, I don't know. He got together with Sean and Miguel, and they because they met each other in L.A. And then they all flew to Texas, and then they rehearsed, and then they played this release party, for it.
Why do you think this means so much to everybody? Is it because it hits so close to home because of who we are and our community and our punk, and I hate the word scene, but our scene? Why do you think it touches everyone, from you to CJ Ramon, the Blanks, the entire crew of Bomb City? Why is it so personal?
I don't know. I mean, first off, I mean, it's a lot of bad things have happened to a lot of people that have been in the punk scene, and it always got ignored or swept under the carpet. I think this is the first time it was really pushed out there, because I remember in '88, a bunch of punk rockers got jumped by Nazi skinheads and stabbed, and there was no talk about it whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't either. I have no idea.
Yeah, nobody knows because it was in Pomona, California, and there was no talk about it whatsoever, no media. And then there's like things like when the cops beat. I remember it's a Bad Religion. The cops beat up everybody in the parking lot, brutally beat them down, and he put a few people in the hospital. There was no talk. You know what I mean? And there was. I mean, I was there, so I saw it with my own eyes. And by the way, I got beat by the cops too. So we were at a Bad Religion concert in the parking lot in '88 it was '89, I think it was. And they literally just jumped us, the cops. They went into the parking lot and started beating the crap out of everybody,
Wow.
yeah. And one of the cops
California?
undercover. One of the cops was undercover, and he was driving his car through the parking lot. And when some kids were running, he drove his car straight into them, and they flew over the windshield of the car. He ran right into him, and the cops came out, and they go, "This guy just hit him." And it turned out he was an undercover cop, so the cops let him go. And this was Chief Daryl Gates in control of LAPD at this time. And Chief Daryl Gates is famous only because of the Rodney King beatings, with the black guy that got beat up by the cops. But that was in '92. But Chief Daryl Gates had let all the cops do whatever the hell they want, and they covered up everything, like mass crimes, that was done by the police and everything. And there's interviews like on Punk Invasion, not Punk Invasion, on Patriotic Shock. In the very beginning, there's an intro. And if you listen to the intro, it's actually Chief Daryl Gates talking about, he's saying, he was on national television. He goes, "Punk rockers. I don't know why they call them punk rockers. There's nothing but a bunch of punks. They come in here and tear things up." He goes, he says that, "No, but not on my watch. I'll take them down," or some bullshit like that. If you listen to the beginning, you'll see it. Yeah. And then there was so I used that as a clip because it was, it just shows you the mentality. And I mean, that's what happened with this, because this kid was, the kid who ran over Brian was, rich kid, call it like destined to be a college kid. He had money, and Brian Deneke had nothing. And then it made, and then they just let everybody go, and then that caused an uproar. So they had to, the media pushed the courts into actually putting a sentence on that kid, they ran over Brian Deneke. I mean, but if it wasn't for the media on that case, nothing would have happened, just like nothing ever happens with all the cases I just told you about. The cops don't care, at least they used to.
Not productive members of society.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. And I mean, I've been arrested a few times in my life, and a few times I was in there. I got arrested and I was in jail. I was in jail with gangbangers that shot up neighborhoods and stuff, and they all got off. Like, they got off because the cops didn't want to do an investigation, because they found out that they shot up the neighbors, but the neighbors that they shot up were all gangbangers too. So they're like, they're gangbangers, let them go. And they let them out, because I was in court for my thing, and there was this gangbanger. He told me he just did a drive-by shooting on another gangbanger's house, Cholos, and the cops, the judge didn't want to even hear it, and the cops didn't care, and they just let the guy out. So why'd you even arrest him in the first place?
Right.
But
To pretend
yeah,
they're
they
doing
let him go because they considered it. If he would have shot like a normal person's house up or something, they would have probably threw the book at him. But since it was a gangbanger shooting gangbangers, they didn't care. So see what I'm saying? That's why I think, it means a lot more is that finally some kind of justice happens to people, not really, because the kid ran over Brian Deneke. I mean, the guy should have went to prison for at least 10 years, but he didn't do it even that. He got like, I don't remember what it was, house arrest and some
like
other
probation.
Yeah, and then probation. But then he got busted again later on.
Yeah.
Since he had many charges that really fucked him up, so he ended up I think he got busted for drunk driving or something.
Yeah, and underage, providing alcohol to underage kids.
Great guy.
And his dad too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really, because he already had that charge, manslaughter charge, which wasn't manslaughter; it was straight up murder, and that's why we saw murder. I mean, yeah, because he intentionally, because the girlfriend said that he was driving the car, he was super hot-headed, and he was yelling, "I'm a ninja in a caddy."
And he had done it before. He had a history of doing it. He did it at least one other time before, just running through the crowd, that night, and I think another night as well, of just I'm going to hit you, or just
just a murderer.
Yeah,
like a murderer driving around.
Yeah, and what's funny is because it's happened to me. I've been jumped by skinheads one time, and I got stabbed in the back. It was in '92. I got jumped by like 6 or 8 skinheads, and they stabbed me in the back because my girlfriend at the time was black, and they were calling me an N lover and all this crap. She was a punk rock girl. She was totally cool. Well, she was cool when she wasn't doing drugs. Let me just say, and I mean, that's why we split up, because of her drug use. But it doesn't even matter. They saw this. They called me an N lover and all this crap, and then they tried to beat me up inside the concert. And I went outside after the concert was over, and they were waiting for me. And they beat me down right in front of the security guards. Nobody did nothing. And this was not a small concert. There was at least 2,000 people.
So punk rockers are expendable. It doesn't matter. Like your story with the gangbangers. It doesn't matter. We're just a lower class.
That was the worst part about it, is the security guards did not break up the fight. They didn't do anything. They just stood there watching it the whole time, and was right in front of the door of the club, of the venue. And the venue holds 2,000 people. The Hollywood Palladium. I was in front of it. There was not just one security guard. There was hundreds. But nobody did nothing. And they watched me get beat down, and even the punk rockers, but they were scared. Because a lot of the punk rockers that were there were little skinny kids, and these guys were worked out, sleeve tattoo, big muscle-bound morons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They scare the living crap. And then one of them, they beat me, and then they called the cops, of course, the security guards, but they didn't break up the fight. They didn't even bother. They were probably afraid of him too.
Right.
So I got brutally beat down. I knocked unconscious, and then they stabbed me in the back. And then the cops came, the ambulance came, the cops came, and before the cops came, they stabbed me in the back, and they ran through the parking lot and disappeared. And everybody saw it. Everybody said the same thing, that what happened. But nobody did anything. In fact, there was no even pursuit to even look for these guys from the cops. They didn't care at all, and
what if that happened today? If that happened today, if Brian Deneke happened today, what if these assaults happened in 2023, 2024? What do you think would be the result?
I don't know. I mean, things have changed a bit. I mean, people are more accepting. Back then, they were not accepting. In the 80s and 90s, nobody cared. You know what I mean? they thought punk rockers were freaks. You know what I mean? And that was it. Low lives, drug addicts. Even though I never did drugs, but that's the way they think of us. You know, so I don't know. To be honest, I haven't. The thing is, I haven't seen any violence like that in a long time. You know, in the '90s and '80s, it was normal. You know,
Right.
it was all over the place. But since then, I haven't really seen anything. You know, the last time we got in a really horrible confrontation was probably around 96, 97. That was it. And after that, that was because the album Pledge of Defiance, not Pledge, Patriotic Shock had all these anti-racist songs. So we had all these Nazis coming to our shows, wanting to beat us up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they were showing up at our, dude, we were in Jacksonville, Florida, and the Ku Klux Klan showed up at the
Oh my God.
They were outside in their robes and everything with a bunch of Nazi skinheads. And they were threatening all the crowd if they came into the show that they were going to beat them up, burn their cars, you know, all this crap. Trying to scare everybody to not go into the show. And yeah, in '95, we ended up being we were on the cover of Aryan Nation magazine. They had it, I guess, back then. And I saw it because they were passing them out. And we were on the cover of it. And it had a bullet, like a gun, like a scope pointed on us like the shoe does. Public Enemy #1. Yeah, bullseye on us. A picture of a bullseye on us. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like they did not like us because we were on and that message was getting out way more than normal, you know?
That means you're doing something right. If the Aryan Nation doesn't like you, you're on the right track.
Well, back then it was, like I said, it was '95, and they were after us, you know? And luckily nobody got hurt. Some kids got hurt, but none of us got hurt. Well, Joe Vassar got in a fight, but he did get a broken rib. But Joe Vassar was our old bass player. He was huge, 6'8" Native American guy, and he got in a huge fight with some skinheads, and they broke his rib in Florida. It was in, I think it was in Fort Lauderdale. They broke his rib, and I didn't see it because I was downstairs when it happened. But we still played, even with Joe with the broken rib. But then later on, after the show was done, we went to the hospital, and Joe, there was nothing really they could do. But they gave him painkillers and all that crap because they hit him with some metal rod or something on his chest and broke his rib. But yeah, that was a long time ago. That was the '90s again. You know, fun times. The '90s were, in the '80s too. They were really unbelievable. You know,
it's not like that. It's not like that now. Like, you don't believe these things. I mean, you don't see it now.
We were poking at them. You know what I mean? Because in '90, you know, our first album came out in '93. Our first 7-inch came out in '92, and our first demo came out in '91. But we were poking at them. We had songs like "Kill the Nazis," "Into White Supremacy," so we were really pissing them off. But what really ticked them off, the Nazis, was definitely the release of Pledge of Defiance and A Patriarch Shot, because we had so many anti-racist songs on it that they were pissed. You know what I mean? And we were on a big label, and all these kids were running around with Total Chaos shit, and they didn't like us. They wanted us to stop. They told us that actually, you know what? I just remembered. We did get in a fight in 2004. I forgot about that. We got in a huge fight with Nazis in 2004, and the cops came, but they didn't do anything. But we had already left. But this was funny because all these Nazis came, and it was Total Chaos, Exploited, and The Resilience playing all together. And we were in Detroit, and these Nazis came, and they were threatening to beat me. They said if we play "Kill the Nazis" or "Into White Supremacy," that they're going to kill me or some bullshit. And they told it to somebody in one of our bands, and then I got told, where is this guy that said it? And then they said, oh, he's over there. And I went straight over there where he was. He was sitting at the bar, and I sat right next to him, the guy that's supposedly going to kill me. And I ordered a beer, and I'm sitting there drinking my beer, and the guy was just minding his own business, skinhead guy, big guy, really big. He was bigger than me, and he was big. You know what I mean? But he didn't even do anything. I was poking at him, and then he gets up, and then he walks away, and then all of a sudden he punches the guitar player for Resilience. He didn't hit me. He was mad at me, but he punches the guitar player for Resilience. And then that was when the exploited roadie guy, Otter, fucking broke a pool stick over the back of the head of that skinhead guy. And then all the other skinheads ran, and it was a big brawl, you know. And the cops came. We ended up winning the fight, completely winning it. Only the guitar player for Resilience, he got a little bit hurt, but he wasn't bad. He had like a little bit of a black eye because the guy hit him on the side of the head, and that was it. Everybody else got almost no scratches or nothing. And what we did is everybody was using pool sticks and beating him on the head with it. They broke several pool sticks over the heads of some of these guys, but they were outnumbered too because it was all of Exploited, all the Resilience, and all the Total Chaos, plus the roadies, all jumping these 8 skinheads, you know. So they got their asses kicked. You know what I mean? Waddy like got a bar stool and slammed it on the head of some skinhead guy, you know, and it was pretty funny, man. I mean, it looked scary at the time, but after it happened, we had a pretty funny laugh about it. But the cops.
Let's get back on track. Inez, you got a question?
Sure. So with the song that you wrote and everything, what message do you have for the normies that don't understand punks? Because I'm sure there's still people that don't understand it, you know, the punk scene and everything. So I just wanted, what message do you have for them?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my version of, I mean, what I do, because punk is pretty much just be yourself and do what you want, you know? I mean, that's what I think of it as. But I'm like a really political guy, so I always write like politics, you know? So I don't know. I don't really know what to tell people. I mean, I just tell people that punk rock just means to do what you want. That's why you got kids with mohawks and spiky hair, but then you got guys that look like guys in the Circle Jerks or whatever. They look like normal guys. You know what I mean? Or even Black Flag. They look like normal guys too. You know what I mean? They're not all crazy. I mean, punk's like, you know, just, you know,
Whatever.
trying to be an individual and not following everybody's trendy bullshit, you know? So they came out and fucking arrested everybody.
If you could tell, I have a question. If you could tell, because all of your experience, all of your knowledge, because you're probably the smartest guy I know, but if you could tell every young punk something, what would be the one thing you would tell them?
I don't know. I mean, I just tell people to be themselves, you know, and do not follow anybody and question everything. Question everything. I mean, I don't care who says it, the media, doctor, whatever, question everything. Always question everything because believe me, there's a lot of fucking lying bastards out there and they're making up stories to convince or sway people to do whatever they want, whatever agenda they want. You know what I mean? So that's what I always say. And that's what I've been saying. That's what the whole new record, our whole new album just came out. And that's what the whole record, basically, if you listen to the lyrics and you read them, you'll see what I'm talking about. The whole album is about questioning everything. You know what I mean? Kinds of horrific things. My grandfather. And then.
So what I want to say is that from this episode, we got to learn, especially for all the punks, that we can't just be separated all the time. We need to unite. And that's the way to do it. Just stop with the bullshit, the separation. No. We're punks. Gatekeeping. I'm watching you little gatekeeping douches.
Get him.
Stop it. Yeah, I'm getting you right now. And just unite, because at the same time we have to watch out for each other. And I feel like that's an important part of this message that we're getting across to you. Don't you think?
I agree 100%. It's supposed to be us against them and not us against us, because we all gravitated towards punk rock for a reason.
home life, whatever, like whatever. My family has been the punk rock family that I gravitated towards because of whatever reasons. And we shouldn't be infighting. We're supposed to fight the system. We're supposed to fight the oppressors. We're supposed to fight the jocks. I don't know. Are we still doing that?
But it's true though,
I
because
mean, we're in our 50s. Do we fight jocks anymore? I don't know. But you know what? We still stand for something, right?
bullying, I mean, there's always somebody bullying others. I mean,
100%. Our
you know,
youth, our transgender youth, our especially our Black
exactly.
transgender youth.
Yeah.
There are so many people that need us to stand up for them, and I guess that's our job as the outsiders, the elder outsiders, if you will. Correct?
Absolutely, especially since a lot of times there's still people going through things, and especially like you said, the blacks transgender, like they're getting a lot of like hatred right now, and you need we the whole thing is representation. That's important. We need to stand up. We need to have a voice for those that are getting bashed upon, and show people they're freaking humans.
Right,
Like give them a voice. Like let them have a
right.
voice. So that's what
Like
I say.
fight, yeah. Keep fighting is
Keep
basically the
fighting.
message. Like you don't have like Margaret Thatcher anymore or Reagan to bitch about, but we still have so many atrocities, and it's good to not lose touch with those, no matter how you age or what your standing is or whatever. Remain. I think we all remain who we are in our heart, which would be the punk rock, which was what Brian Deneke stood for and died for, ultimately. And we should keep that going out of respect and keep fighting the good fight with compassion and respect for our other punks. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I love what you said. It's so important because that as you get older, I mean, there's still going to be some fighting that's going to be involved. You don't give up, like there's going to be
Right.
stuff that's going to piss you off. And especially with politics, like Rob was talking about, there's so much.
Yep.
And and then now with what Brian went through, like that was a really bad part of history that still needs to be brought up because it can happen again, you
It
know?
needs to be discussed because, like Rob said, but history repeats itself. So, but it shouldn't always repeat itself. It should be corrected. You would think you would learn something from it.
Yeah, I wish we did, but people don't learn.
We're not that type. All right, Izzy, I just want to say that I have enjoyed this project with you. Thank you for working with me with this. Thank you for letting me work with you because you give such good interviews. Oh my God.
Thank you.
I was really, thank you so much. It has been an honor to work with you and to do this story with you. We spent a lot of time like talking and yelling and fighting, not like with each other, but like kind of yelling at our TVs pretty much. And Warren, what's his name? Warren P. Clark, the defense attorney. Yeah, so we spent a lot of time hating on people and yelling. And we thank you all for listening. And that's it. We hope that it hope you like it as much as we do, I guess is what I'm saying. Not like the atrocities or the anger or anything like that, but hope you like the compassion and the thought that went behind it and the need to do better consistently, as a community, as a group, as a putting on shows, keeping venues together, booking shows. Brian, I believe, would want that. He loved the shows. He loved booking the shows. So that's that.
Thank you so much. I love being a part of this. Thank you. You've been great.
All right. So with that, we are going to say thank you all so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.